My brother wrecked my 3-year relationship. Claimed it just happened. Family urged me to move on. So, I walked away from the family business I'd been keeping afloat for years. Okay, deep breath. It's been 3 months since the nuclear bomb went off in my family, and I'm finally sitting here in my new apartment, ready to spill everything. You need to understand the family dynamics first, because it's crucial to why I did what I did. My younger brother, Tyler, has always been the golden child. Not in some subtle, are you imagining things, way. I'm talking about favoritism so blatant, a sitcom writer would tell them to dial it back. Growing up, I was the responsible one. Good grades, helped around the house, got a job at 15. All the normal older sibling stuff that just wasn't noticed. Tyler? Different rules entirely. He failed 3 core classes in high school, and my dad's response? He's just not challenged enough. We should look into AP courses. The kid who couldn't pass basic algebra was apparently ready for AP calculus. Spoiler, he lasted a week. Then, at 16, he got caught shoplifting $200 noise-canceling headphones from Target. My mom's take? Oh, just a phase. Boys will be boys. No charges, no punishment, no making him work to pay it back. Nothing. Meanwhile, I got grounded for 2 weeks at 15 for being an hour past curfew because I was helping a friend with a broken-down car. I called ahead. Explained everything. Didn't matter. Rules were rules for me. At 17, Tyler jorrowed in my dad's truck, crashed it into a mailbox at 50 miles per hour in a 25 zone, totaling the front end, $8,000 in damage. Dad's reaction? Accidents happen. That's what insurance is for. Me? I accidentally scratched my mom's car door with my bike, a tiny 3-inch scratch, and had to pay for the repair out of my summer savings. Different standards, same family. The college money was another gut punch. Dad set aside $40,000 for each of us. Mine went to tuition and books, responsibly. Tyler blew through his in 1 year on living expenses and partying, then dropped out. Did Dad make him pay it back? Nope. Tyler just moved back home, rent-free, and Dad kept slipping him money for all his failed business ventures. This favoritism didn't stop in adulthood. It got worse. I worked my butt off, got a finance degree, landed a solid analyst job, bought my own place by 26, had savings. I was doing everything right. Tyler? After college, he decided traditional education was too restrictive for his entrepreneurial spirit. First, a pressure washing business. Dad bought him $3,000 in equipment. Tyler did 3 jobs, made $400, then ghosted. Too much physical work. Then a vending machine empire. Lost $6,000. Then crypto trading. Dad gave him $10,000. He lost 9. Then social media consulting. Charged family friends, posted twice a month, ghosted them when they asked for refunds. Every failure was bad timing or people didn't understand his vision. Every job he quit or got fired from was because his boss couldn't handle his innovative ideas. He lived in my parents' basement until he was 25, rent-free, contributing nothing. And my mom would always say, Tyler's just finding his path. He's an entrepreneur. I'd sit there thinking, I found my path just fine, and nobody gave me 5 years of free rent to do it. But here's where it gets really dark. 3 years ago, Dad asked me to help restructure his construction company's finances. He was old school, shoeboxes of receipts, checks balanced twice a year. I spent 6 months of nights and weekends building proper systems, spreadsheets, QuickBooks, supplier relationships, renegotiating contracts. I saved him $80,000 that first year alone. His thanks? A handshake. That's what family does. No pay, no equity, not even a Christmas bonus. Just the expectation I'd keep doing it for free because we're family. And like an idiot, I did. 2 years later, Dad decided to semi-retire. He's 62, wants to travel, play golf. Totally fair. Guess who he brought on as his successor? Tyler. My brother, with 0 experience in construction, project management, or running a business. Despite me having served as the unpaid CFO for 3 years, saving the company tens of thousands annually. Tyler got the title, the $75,000 salary, and 50% ownership in a company worth $1.2 million. When I pointed out I'd been doing executive-level work for free, Dad said, "You have your own career. Tyler needs this more than you do." Right. Because that's how business succession should work. Give it to the person who needs it most, not the one who's qualified. But I swallowed it. Because I was a doormat who kept thinking family should mean something. Now, let's talk about Rachel, my ex-girlfriend. Met her 4 years ago, through friends. Fun, smart, a dental hygienist with a laugh that could light up a room. We clicked immediately. Introduced her to my family around month 3. Looking back, that's when everything went sideways. Tyler immediately laid on the charm. He's the charismatic, funny life of the party guy, while I'm the boring one who talks about spreadsheets. I remember him pulling me aside that first dinner. "Dude, she's way out of your league. How do you manage that?" I laughed it off. I thought he was joking. Stupid. Me. Over the next 3 years, Rachel became incredibly involved with my family. Sunday dinners, helping Mom cook, shopping trips with my aunt, attending Tyler's parties. I thought it was great. My girlfriend, integrating with my family. Commitment. All the things you want. But looking back, there were signs. Little things that didn't quite add up. Like how she always sat next to Tyler at family dinners, not me. She said it was because I was always getting up to help Dad, so she didn't want to be stuck between empty chairs. Made sense at the time. Or how she'd dress up for Sunday dinners, nicer clothes, more makeup, hair done, but for our dates, it was jeans and a t-shirt. I figured she was trying to impress my parents. Never occurred to me she was trying to impress my brother. She'd text Tyler about random stuff she wouldn't text me. Memes. When I asked once, she said, "Tyler's just funnier than you." We both laughed. Idiot. Then there was the time, about a year in, I came home early from work. Rachel was at my apartment, supposedly surprising me with dinner. Except nothing was cooking. No ingredients out. And she came out of my bedroom, flustered, hair messed up, adjusting her shirt. Said she'd been taking a nap. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? Found out later, from their messages, Tyler had been there. They'd been hooking up in my bed. He'd hidden in my closet, then snuck out after I went to the bathroom. They thought it was hilarious. Close call, LOL. Your brother's clueless. Their social media interaction became particularly friendly. Tyler commented on all her photos, looking good. Fire outfits on point. I wrote it off as him being friendly. She did the same on his posts. They had more interaction online than we did. And the overtime excuses. Rachel's a dental hygienist, regular hours. But she started picking up so much overtime, late shifts, covering for sick coworkers, weekends. I supported it because we were saving for a house. More money, right? Turns out most of that overtime didn't exist. She was with Tyler. Meeting up while I was at work, or she'd tell me she had plans with girlfriends and go see him instead. 3 years of this. 3 years of elaborate lies and me just accepting it because I trusted her. My best friend, Jordan, tried to warn me 6 months ago. We were watching a game, and he casually asked, "Hey man, not trying to start anything, but has Rachel been acting weird lately? Like, distant?" I thought about it. She had been less interested in spending time together. Picking more fights over stupid stuff. Always on her phone, tilting the screen away when I walked by. But I was busy with work, helping Dad, so I figured we were just in a rut. Every relationship has phases, right? I told Jordan we're fine, just busy. He didn't push, but he gave me that look. The look that says, "I tried to warn you." The truth came out 3 months ago, in the most pathetic way possible. I was at my parents' house, helping Dad with paperwork. Tyler was supposed to be at a job site. Rachel was supposed to be working. I was in the home office when I heard noises upstairs. Footsteps. Voices. Laughter. I figured maybe Dad was up there, so I went to check. That's when I heard them. In Tyler's old bedroom, which he still used when he stayed over. Rachel's voice, clearly not alone. Then Tyler's laugh. That stupid, smug laugh he does when he thinks he's being clever. I stood there, in that hallway, for probably 30 seconds, my brain refusing to process it. Then something clicked. Not the explosive anger you see in movies. It was cold, calculating. For the first time in years, I thought clearly. I pulled out my phone and started recording audio through the door. Got about 2 minutes of very incriminating evidence. Couldn't make out every word, but enough. Then I walked downstairs, got in my car, and drove home. No confrontation. No bursting through the door. Just collected evidence and left. That night, while Rachel was in the shower, I went through her laptop. I know, invasion of privacy, but screw it. My gut was screaming, and I needed the truth. My hands were shaking. She didn't even have it password protected when she was home. Trusted me completely. Ironic. I found the messages almost immediately. She wasn't even trying to hide them. Just regular texts. I scrolled back through months, then years. My stomach dropped as the dates kept going back. Past our anniversary. Past Christmas. Past our vacation. Back to almost the beginning of our relationship. The messages were disgusting. Not just the sexual stuff, though there was plenty of that, graphic details about what they did, where, when. But it was the way they talked about me that really cut deep. He's so boring in bed, like missionary with the lights off and that's it. Does he ever do anything spontaneous, or is everything scheduled in his phone? Your brother's cute, but he's basically a robot. And Tyler's responses made it worse. He won't find out. He's too busy with work and that family business stuff. Sometimes I feel bad, but she clearly prefers me. Can't blame her, lol. Honestly, dude's got no game. I'm doing him a favor by keeping her entertained. Otherwise, she'd have left him by now. There were messages about specific times. Hooking up during Thanksgiving while I was carving the turkey. Christmas, when I was shopping for Rachel's present, they snuck off to Tyler's car. My birthday party last year, when I thought they'd gone to get ice. They were in the garage. They talked about family gatherings like they were a cover for their affair. Sunday dinners were perfect because I was always distracted helping Dad. Holiday parties meant they could disappear for 20 minutes. My apartment was their favorite spot because my hours were predictable. I found out they'd done it in my bed at least a dozen times. In my car twice. Once in the guest bathroom at my parents' house during a family barbecue while I was grilling outside. There were close calls documented. Times I almost caught them. Times they thought I was suspicious. But every time, Tyler would just be extra friendly to me and Rachel extra affectionate, and I'd drop it. They talked about me like I was a game to be played. A puzzle to work around. The timeline was damning. First flirty message, 2 months after Rachel and I started dating. Your brother's lucky to have you. Seemed innocent enough until you saw Tyler's response. He's lucky to have her. Maybe I should get lucky too. First actual meetup, 3 months in, at Tyler's apartment, when Rachel told me she was having a girls' night. I took screenshots of everything. Hundreds of messages spanning 3 years. Backed them up to 3 different cloud services, downloaded them to a flash drive. Made sure I had copies that couldn't be deleted. Then I checked her phone records online. We were on a family plan, so I had access. Thousands of texts and calls between her and Tyler. Late-night calls while I was asleep. Texts during my work hours. Calls from parking lots. Then I did something that surprised even me. I didn't confront Rachel. I kept acting normal. Took her out to dinner that weekend. Was pleasant, normal. Even slept with her. All while planning my exit strategy. 2 weeks later, I had everything arranged. New apartment leased. Movers scheduled. Bank accounts separated. Changed all my passwords. Then I planned the family dinner. Told Mom I wanted to host Sunday dinner for a change. She was thrilled, probably thinking I was finally getting serious about family. I invited everyone. Mom, Dad, Tyler, Aunt Linda, Uncle Frank, even my cousin. Rachel, of course, said she'd love to come. The night of the dinner, I set everything up nicely. Ordered catering. Drinks ready, music playing. Everyone showed up in a great mood. Tyler brought craft beers. Rachel brought dessert. Everyone acting like we were one big happy family. We got through appetizers and small talk. Then, right as we were sitting down to eat, I stood up, glass in hand, like I was about to make a toast. So, I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. There's something I need to share with the family. Mom smiled, probably expecting a proposal or a promotion. Tyler looked mildly interested. Rachel looked confused. I've learned something important over the last few weeks, I said, my voice steady. Family is supposed to mean something. Trust is supposed to mean something. But apparently, I've been operating under different definitions than the rest of you. The room got quiet. Dad put down his fork. 3 years, I stated, my eyes locking with Tyler's, then Rachel's. That's how long my brother and my girlfriend have been sleeping together. 3 years of family dinners where you all sat here, probably knowing, definitely suspecting. And nobody said a word. Rachel's face went white. Tyler's went red. Mom actually gasped. I pulled out my phone and started playing the audio I'd recorded. Just 30 seconds. Enough for everyone to hear exactly what I'd heard in that hallway. Then I pulled up the screenshots on my TV. Dated messages. 3 years worth. I let everyone get a good, long look. Tyler tried to talk first. Dude, I can explain. Things just happened. We didn't mean for, save it, I cut him off. Things don't just happen for 3 years. That takes planning. Coordination. Lying to my face at every family gathering while you were screwing my girlfriend. Rachel was crying. I'm so sorry. I never wanted to hurt you. I was going to tell you, I swear. I just didn't know how. You had 3 years to figure out how, I shot back. You chose not to. That's called a decision, not a mistake. The room was dead silent. Everyone staring at their plates, or at me, or at each other. Nobody defending me. Nobody looking angry on my behalf. Just uncomfortable silence. Finally, Dad spoke up. This is obviously a difficult situation, but we're family. We need to work through this calmly. Getting angry isn't going to help anyone. I laughed. Actually laughed. Work through this calmly? You want me to calmly work through 3 years of betrayal? What do you want us to do? Mom asked, her voice pleading. Tyler made a mistake. Rachel made a mistake. But destroying the family over this seems extreme. There it was. The response I'd been expecting, but still couldn't quite believe. Don't cause drama. Keep the peace. Protect Tyler. Because that's what we've always done. I'm not destroying anything, I said, my voice dangerously calm. I'm just done being the family doormat. Done being the responsible one who sacrifices while Tyler gets handed everything and screws it up. Done pretending family means unconditional support when it's really just conditional on how convenient I am. Tyler stood up. You're being dramatic. Yeah, we messed up. But you're going to throw away your whole family over this. I looked him dead in the eyes. Watch me. I walked to the door and opened it. Everyone out. Now. Dinner's over. Nobody moved at first. Then Rachel started gathering her things, still crying. Tyler looked like he wanted to argue, but Mom grabbed his arm. They filed out one by one. Dad tried to say something as he passed, but I just shook my head. After they left, I sat in my apartment, surrounded by catering food nobody had eaten, and felt nothing. No anger, no sadness. Just clarity. The very next day, I sent an email to Dad. Formal, professional. Effective immediately, I was resigning from any involvement with the family business. All the systems I'd set up, supplier relationships, financial tracking. Done. I'd send over documentation, but no ongoing support. His response came 2 hours later. This is childish. You're hurting the business to get back at Tyler. Think about what you're doing. My reply? I thought about it for 3 years while you handed Tyler a company he wasn't qualified to run. I thought about it every Sunday dinner where I helped for free while Tyler collected a salary. I thought about it plenty. This is me being done thinking about it. The business fell apart faster than I expected. Turns out Tyler's management style, showing up late, ignoring problems, hoping things work themselves out, doesn't scale well. First, the Henderson project. $8,000 budget, 2 weeks. Tyler showed up twice. Ordered materials late, ordered the wrong cabinets. Hired a shoddy plumber. 2 weeks stretched to 6. Client refused to pay, threatened to sue. Dad had to eat a $3,000 loss. Then the Morrison commercial job. $20,000 contract. Tyler bid it without calculating costs, just threw out a number that sounded good. It was 30% too low. They lost $8,000. When Dad asked, Tyler said he was trying to be competitive. He didn't understand that winning a bid you lose money on isn't winning. Within a month of me leaving, they'd lost 2 major clients. One because Tyler missed 3 consecutive deadlines. The other because he showed up to a meeting unprepared, trying to wing it with vague nonsense. The beautiful bookkeeping system I'd set up? Tyler didn't understand it, didn't bother learning. Went back to Dad's old shoebox method. Suppliers started demanding payment up front because Tyler had burned through all the goodwill I'd built. I'd spent 2 years building relationships, paying on time. Tyler would order materials, promise payment in 30 days, then forget about it for 60. One supplier actually showed up at the shop demanding payment before they'd unload lumber. Dad had to write a check on the spot. Tyler burned through money like it was going out of style. He'd order materials without comparing prices. I used to get quotes from 3 suppliers. He'd call whoever answered first. They paid 20% more across the board. He'd hire subcontractors without vetting them, hiring whoever he met at a bar. Ended up with a crew that didn't show up, did sloppy work, and charged premium rates. He approved change orders without understanding the financial impact. He'd give away 15 grand worth of additional work because he didn't want to seem difficult. The shop itself became a disaster. I used to keep inventory organized. Tyler just let everything pile up. Tools left in the rain. A $15,000 tile saw broke because no one cleaned it and the motor seized. Projects went over budget constantly because Tyler didn't track costs properly. He'd tell a client 12 grand, then spend 17 without noticing. No contingency. Just blind optimism. Dad had to come out of semi-retirement just to keep things from collapsing. At 64, he was working 60-hour weeks, getting up at 5 a.m., staying until 7 p.m., working Saturdays to fix Tyler's messes. His hands were killing him. His back was hurting. He looked exhausted. And I felt nothing about it. Mom called me after 2 months. Your father's exhausted. This needs to stop. You're hurting him to hurt Tyler. I'm not hurting anyone, I corrected her. I'm simply not helping anymore. There's a difference. If the business can't function without me providing free labor, that's not my problem. That's a business model problem. Family is supposed to help each other, she cried. Family is also supposed to not screw each other over, I shot back. Funny how you're worried about me helping now, but weren't worried about 3 years of betrayal. She hung up on me. Around month 3, Tyler called. First time we'd spoken since the dinner. He was desperate. Dude, I know I messed up. I know I screwed up bad, but can we please just put this aside and you help Dad? The business is drowning. You're asking me to put aside 3 years of betrayal so I can save a business that was handed to you for free? The business you're tanking because you have no idea what you're doing. I'll step back. I'll leave the business entirely. Just please help Dad. Not my problem anymore, I said. You wanted the business. You got it. Figure it out. You're destroying Dad's legacy over a girl, he yelled. I'm watching you destroy it with incompetence, I calmly countered. I'm just not cleaning up your mess anymore. Big difference. He called me some names and hung up. I blocked his number. Whatever. Over the next few weeks, I systematically rebuilt my own life. I'd been doing consulting work on the side for small businesses for a while, just for friends of friends. But I had a knack for it. I could look at a business's books and see exactly where they were bleeding money. I turned that into a full-time thing. Set up an LLC, built a website, reached out to my network. Turns out, a lot of people needed help and were willing to pay for it. My first real client was an HVAC company barely breaking even. 2 weeks analyzing their operations, and I found they were losing money on service calls because they weren't factoring in drive time. Restructured their pricing. They went from breaking even to 15% profit margins in 3 months. Paid me 8 grand for 2 weeks of work. Word spread. I got a landscaping company, a small restaurant group, a dental practice. Each project paid between 5 and 15 grand. I was making in 1 month what I used to make in 3 at my analyst job, working maybe 30 hours a week instead of 50. I started turning down work, had to raise my rates from $150 to $250 an hour. Didn't lose a single client. Actually got more interest. I moved into a nicer apartment, a 2-bedroom with a real office. Got myself a new car. Nothing crazy, but nice, comfortable. The kind of thing I'd always wanted but felt guilty about buying when I was giving my time away for free to family. Meanwhile, the family construction company continued its death spiral. Projects taking twice as long. Clients demanding refunds. Subcontractors refusing to work for them. Dad was scrambling, putting out fires, while Tyler blamed everyone but himself. About 4 months in, Dad called me directly. Not Mom as a messenger. Him. I need your help. Not for Tyler. For me. I built this company from nothing. I can't watch it die. You handed it to someone who's killing it, I reminded him. That was your choice. I made a mistake. I see that now. But please, help me save what I built. And there it was. The acknowledgement I'd been waiting for. Part of me wanted to say no. Let it burn. But I'm not built like that. Despite everything, I didn't actually want to see Dad lose his life's work. I just wanted him to see Tyler for what he really was. I'll help, I said, but I have conditions. Anything, he immediately responded, desperate. First, I'm not doing this for free. You want me to save the business? You pay me consulting rates, $200 an hour, 20-hour minimum per week. Second, Tyler has no decision-making authority while I'm working. He can show up, he can learn, but he doesn't override anything I do. Third, once the business is stable, we're having a serious conversation about succession planning. Real planning, not just handing it to whoever needs it most. Dad agreed to everything. He was desperate. He knew I was his only option. I came back, but not as the free family labor. As a paid consultant, with a contract, everything in writing. I worked exactly 20 hours per week, billed every minute, and didn't do a single thing beyond what I was contracted to do. The first thing I did was assess the damage. It was worse than I thought. They were 90 grand in the hole. Suppliers wouldn't extend credit. 3 projects faced breach of contract lawsuits. Accounts were a disaster. Tyler had been mixing personal and business expenses, paying himself whenever he felt like it, buying stuff for his apartment with company cards. I spent the first month just stabilizing the bleeding. Reached out to suppliers I still had relationships with, explained the situation honestly, negotiated new terms. Collected on unpaid invoices. Set up a proper accounting system even Dad could follow. But here's the thing, I only did exactly what I was contracted to do. I didn't go above and beyond. I didn't work nights and weekends. I didn't bring in new clients or chase big projects. I did my 20 hours, billed them, and went back to my own thriving consulting business. The business stabilized, but it didn't grow. They weren't hemorrhaging money, but they weren't making the kind of profit they used to either. Sustainable for keeping the lights on, but not for Dad's retirement plans. About 5 months into this arrangement, Mom called me again. Your father is exhausted. He's 64 years old and working 60-hour weeks trying to keep this business afloat. This needs to end. I agree, I told her. He should sell the business and retire. He built this company from nothing. It's his legacy, she wailed. Then he should have thought about that before handing it to someone who had no idea what they were doing. What do you want from me, Mom? She cried. I want you to come back, run the business properly, help your father retire with dignity. At what cost? Do I just forget that Tyler spent 3 years sleeping with my girlfriend? Do I pretend it's normal that you all knew, or at least suspected, and said nothing? That your first response was to tell me not to cause drama? We didn't know, she insisted. Rachel spent every Sunday at your house. Tyler was there every Sunday. You think they were just really good friends? You all saw what you wanted to see because it was easier than dealing with reality. That's not fair, she exclaimed. Fair? You want to talk about fair? Where was fair when I spent 3 years helping Dad for free? Where was fair when Tyler got handed a business he wasn't qualified to run? Where was fair when you told me to let it go after I found out I'd been cheated on for 3 years? She didn't have an answer for that. Just silence. Here's what's going to happen, I said, my voice firm. I'm going to finish out my contract, which has 4 months left. In that time, I'll get the business to a point where it can be sold. Dad can retire. You can downsize. And Tyler can figure out his own career path. After that, I'm done. No family dinners. No holidays. No pretending we're one big happy family. You're being cruel, she gasped. No, I'm being honest. For the first time in my life, I'm putting myself first instead of sacrificing for a family that doesn't appreciate it. You should try it sometime. I hung up before she could respond. As for my family, last I heard from Jordan, who keeps tabs through mutual friends, things are not great. Dad and Mom sold their house and downsized to a condo. The retirement money is going faster than expected because they're helping Tyler with rent. Yes, helping Tyler with rent. Turns out when you lose your cushy job because the business gets sold and you have no actual skills or work history, finding employment is tough. Who knew? Rachel tried to reach out a few months ago. Long text about how she'd been working on herself, realized what she'd done wrong, wanted to apologize properly. I read it, felt absolutely nothing, and deleted it without responding. She sent another message a week later asking if we could at least talk. I blocked her number. Tyler's text was even better. It came about a month ago. I hope you're happy now. You destroyed our family's business just to get revenge. I actually responded to that one. I didn't destroy anything. I salvaged what I could from your incompetence, got Dad enough money to retire, and walked away. The fact that you see me refusing to sacrifice myself for you anymore as revenge says everything about who you are. Don't contact me again. He didn't. So, here I am, building my own future on my own terms. What I did felt like the only way to finally break free. Was it too much? Did I go too far, or did they all finally get a taste of the consequences they so skillfully avoided for years? Tell me what you think in the comments below. I really want to know.